Hey guys, it's Goose. Oh Goose. I'm here doing a new kind of video that can hopefully make a daily thing, if not just an every other day kind of thing. Essentially, I'll be bringing you stories that have happened just recently or anything game related that I found interesting. I guess in a sense you could consider this a news thing, but in reality I wouldn't want to view it that way. It's more of an editorial kind of video full of my own opinions, rants, and lackluster jokes. I know how much you love that. Let me know what you think about this video format in the comments. I'm always open to criticism as long as you're not a piece of shit, otherwise you will get fucking demolished by me. With that being said, let's get started, shall we? First thing up is Eichenwalde. Eichenwalde? Shit. How the fuck do you pronounce it? Okay, Google. How do you pronounce Eichenwalde?
Here is some information about Nazi Germany.
What? In any case, Eichenwalde, it's finally playable for the public. Yay. Shortly after its reveal in Gamescom. You know, just in PTR, and it's not actually in the game, but if you want to play it, just download PTR and you're set. I think it's kind of cool that we can play this really early, seeing as how it's supposedly going to come out next month instead of, well, this week. Eichenwalde looks fucking gorgeous. Almost as gorgeous as Reinhardt's new legendary skin. What a sexy lad you are. Eichenwalde, for those of you who are out of the know, it's a brand new map announced by Blizzard over at Gamescom this past week and was playable for a brief period for any attendees. Disappointingly enough, it's not a reversal hybrid map as many of us speculated, myself included. No, it's just like a regular hybrid map. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, they could have done something new with this map, but decided not to. I actually really like how they publicly stated that it wasn't a reverse hybrid map. Just the way they just said it was like, oh, don't worry, we knew we could do something new and interesting with this map, but it's just the same old kind of map, you know? We got you, we know what you want. Really, that's not too bad, as the map itself looks gorgeous and just seems very balanced from what I've seen anyways. Has these cool little chokeholds and like fucking towers you can go on top of to snipe people. It's actually a really nice defensive map and a great offensive map as well. So if you're playing either side, you're probably going to have a lot of fun. I mean, I know you will. It sort of reminds me of Nubani, surrounded by big structures while the escorting team is stuck on the road. Well, it looks great. I haven't played it myself, but like I said earlier, this map is now available on PTR, so go ahead and check it out. I'll probably check it out too. Oh, and by the way, nope, no Sombra hints this week. Sorry about that. We're just still stuck on the fucking Tracer thing. I can't believe we're still stuck on it. It's been 3 weeks. Hey guys, really quick, while I was making this video and while I was recording this, brand new Sombra hints just came out. It is currently really fresh, really new, so nobody has really decrypted it yet, and I have little to no information on it other than these screenshots right here. As we speak right now, there are people decrypting it as of this recording, so good luck to those guys. I'll keep you posted on all of this later, and if we ever find out, I will give you a video tomorrow telling you more about it, okay? Thank you all so very much. Alright, and the next topic is just about No Man's Sky and how disappointing it's been for the majority of players. There's no real news story associated with this or anything, just an opinionated piece for the whole No Man's Sky debacle. It's a rant. Yes, it is going to be a rant. I was going to talk about Pokemon Go and how its player base is starting to decline, but I think that's kind of obvious with how little people are talking about it nowadays. I'll talk about that later, but for now, let's focus on No Man's Sky. For those who don't know, No Man's Sky is this giant immersive game that features quintillions upon quintillions of planets that are all explorable and unique, 18 quintillion to be exact. You play as this lone adventurer with his or her own starship that can warp speed through galaxies, landing on strange alien worlds that could be a host to hundreds of undiscovered creatures, all while traveling to the center of the galaxy, which holds unbeknownst treasures, or so we're told. The hype for this game was immeasurable. Lots of people, myself included, wanted to play this fascinating little game. It was being developed by a bunch of indie sweetheart-looking dudes, and every time we heard something new about it, it would always sound phenomenal. The game came out a few weeks ago to critically meh acclaims. It's just sort of, well, it just sort of exists, I guess. Not long after the game's release, people started to dissect it a bit more and realize that a lot of the things Sean Murray, Hello Games founder, said weren't actually true, and a lot of the builds previewing to the public before showed off a lot of potentially cool things that sadly didn't make it to the final game, Weird portals, space battles, in-depth factions, flying space creatures, day and night cycles, etc, etc. The list of things that were promised and weren't ever in the game is kinda ludicrous. Angry Joe made possibly one of the best No Man's Sky reviews I've seen so far, and I really recommend checking it out. It goes way more in depth and tells you all the things wrong with the game and a lot more of the lies that I have not mentioned. So go ahead and check that video out right here. Personally, I never really wanted to talk about this subject myself. I knew there was a lot of heat going on involving this game, and I definitely wanted to talk about it, but I haven't personally played it, though that hasn't stopped me before. Though I will say that any interest that I had in this game 2 years ago has been severely reduced with every new gameplay video I've seen. For the most part, it just looks kind of like Minecraft in space, just without the craft part. It looks incredibly tedious and so very flaccid, just devoid of emotion. Honestly, I expected something akin to a free-roaming Mass Effect-like game, just with less story, or maybe like a Dark Souls in space kind of game, where the story was told through bits and pieces of material scattered across different planets. Instead, from what I've seen at least, I see a lot of digging, a lot of mining, scanning aliens and animals and learning more about them does seem super cool to me though. My favorite thing in Mass Effect was the glossary. I loved learning about stupid fictional stuff if it's in depth and it's interesting enough, which is why I'm Catholic. Hey, religious jokes. No Man's Sky could be the most boring shit ever to me on the ground, but honestly, what I personally cared about the most was the spaceship stuff and anything involving the explorations with your spaceship. I adore dogfights, especially dogfights in space. There's something so relaxing about being on a planet built to kill and just hovering over it, examining the beauty of the world below. Really, that sounded like enough for me, but then I learned you don't even have that much control over your ship or how it looks like or what it even does. The game restricts your flying a bit while on a planet. I guess to prevent any dumbasses from crashing into every planet they get into. I get it, that's fine. But then I found out that most of the spaceships in the game, if not all of them, aren't very unique whatsoever. We were promised to have awesome spaceships that would all act differently from each other, when in reality that's not the case at all. They all reportedly act the same, play the same, look the same interior wise. The only difference, other than cosmetics, are, well, inventory slots. You get more inventory slots per upgrade. Wow. That's incredible. Lots of people bought into the hype of this game, and lots of people were disappointed. Hype culture really does a wonderful job putting on rose-tinted glasses on anything that's slightly fascinating. It's a shame because this does look like a game they had a lot of work put into it, but it was definitely released too soon. However, can we, the consumers, really blame Hello Games for releasing the game in its current state? When you get stories about so-called fans of the game giving death threats to the guys working at Hello Games because they delayed it so many times, is it any wonder that they were kind of maybe scared of saying, hey, we actually need another year until we can release this game? Not only that, but I can't imagine the kind of pressure these guys were feeling while working on this. It was supposedly to be the next big thing, the indie darling that could potentially rock the world of gaming, same way Minecraft did that many years ago. I don't know what the work conditions were like while developing this game, but I'm sure they knew that this game was not going to be complete. But they had to release something, or else they just seemed like an unreliable gaming company. But it was either be an unreliable gaming company that keeps its release date promises, or be an unreliable gaming company that lies about the features in their game. There is no right or wrong answer, honestly. Either way, people would have hated them. They couldn't be that one indie darling for very long, and if they kept fans waiting any longer, then No Man's Sky probably wouldn't be that successful on launch day. Not that it's any successful now. As for the biggest controversy of it all, the multiplayer, I really don't think Hello Games ever predicted people to actually meet each other on the very first day. Yes, if you haven't heard, No Man's Sky was also sort of, not really, hinted possibly sometimes to have multiplayer, maybe? It's kind of vague, to be honest. It's actually really vague. Sometimes they said that there was multiplayer, sometimes they said that there wasn't, sometimes they said that there is multiplayer but that it would be disappointing, other times they made it sound like you could do co-op stuff. At the very least, we knew that we could at least see each other while on the ground, and people have seen each other, or at least they were supposed to. See, these two guys on Twitch somehow found out that they were actually super close by one another and decided, fuck it, let's stream ourselves finding one another. So they started this wondrous journey to the galaxy to find each other, and it was live broadcasted on Twitch, except that didn't actually happen. Even though they stood on the same exact place, on the same exact time, they just didn't appear. Hello Games commented on this by saying that there was a server issue. Only these two guys tried again and, well, same results. Nobody ever saw each other. It's kind of funny when you think about it. As I said before, Hello Games most certainly knew that a lot of the features promised weren't going to make it to release. And multiplayer, whatever it could have been, was going to be one of them. Of course, these are just allegations and speculations from my part. I like to reinstate that I have no idea what the real intent was, or if there really is terrible server issues going on right now. But let's say they really don't have multiplayer ready and they just didn't include it. Why would they just not say, hey, multiplayer isn't ready, you guys aren't going to see each other? Well, because they seriously didn't think people would meet each other on the first day. No Man's Sky is massive. 18 quintillion planets. I mean, come on, seriously. Out of potentially 500,000, maybe to 1 million people who might have bought this game, No Man's Sky is fucking huge. And the odds of players meeting each other is so low that they couldn't be bothered to actually care. Of course, that didn't really happen, but you catch my drift. At any rate, I don't really have a good, strong opinion on this. I never really played the game, nor was I really all that interested in this game. Well, you know, as of late, anyways. This is just a stupid little rambling or rant or whatever you want to call it. I'm glad people are at least having fun with this game regardless. From what I hear, it's definitely not the worst game in the world, but it could damn well be the most disappointing. Let me know how much you hate me on the comments below, or just tell me on my Twitter, @GooSenpai. Yeah, check it out. Last thing I want to talk about is this awesome new game that's going to be released, and everyone should be hyped about it, and everyone should overhype it until it's released. Oh man, I'm shitty. It's this game called Agony, which is supposedly supposed to be like this Doom Amnesia hybrid thing. It's made in Unreal Engine 4 and it looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's kind of mental, maybe drawing on a psychological horror thing above all else. Although it does take place, at least it looks like it takes place in hell, which, could be kind of cool. Actually, it looks like it's taking place inside of a monster. Like there are all these jagged teeth inside this belly looking thing, and there's these monsters with tits. Look at that. Look at that. Monsters with tits. Edgy. Really awesome. Ever since PT came out, more developers have been really interested in capturing that kind of horror, you know what I mean? Like creepy hallway simulator kind of stuff. We saw that with like Layers of Fear, whose developers, if I'm not mistaken, admitted that their game was heavily inspired by PT. Regardless, it looks great. I mean, look at this. It's awesome. We haven't seen much gameplay of it. I mean, it says right there it's a work in progress, so, you know, don't expect too much. And the animations do look a little stiff and ill a few times. So, yeah, but I was very interested. Recently, I found out that there are a lot of horror games that are trying to be released but aren't ever fully realized. So, hope that this could be one of those games that can find its full potential and scare the shit out of us. My only concern with this game is how enamored it seems to be of its visuals of hell and blood and monsters, and that makes me hope that it won't stray away from gameplay and that it can be creepy on its own other than its creepy visuals. The game can look scary visually, but if the game is just full of hell, it kind of makes the players desensitized of said visuals. Well, regardless, it's still in development, and this was more of a demo reel than an actual gameplay kind of trailer, I assume. So, I can't wait till this actually comes out. Speaking of horror games, Allison Road has been revived. Yay. What the fuck is Allison Road? I hear my cheeky fans say as they munch away on their Cheeto Puffs. I'll tell you, I respond with bitterness pushing my words out of my mouth. Allison Road, for those uninformed, was a spiritual successor to PT, or Silent Hills. This game gained quite a bit of traction after its very popular and very successful Kickstarter, and it raised its goal in nearly 3 weeks. Unfortunately, due to unknown reasons involving the game's developer and the publisher, the game eventually just flatlined and was gone. Well, not entirely. Christian Kessler, creator of the game, came back and said that the project needed some improvements, such as the flow and the story and the gameplay, etc. And in his words, the project just naturally came back as soon as he started to work on those improvements. I think it's great that the guy picked up the pieces of his game, but to call it a spiritual successor to PT is kind of weird. I mean, it just seems like a game inspired heavily by PT, like Layers of Fear. Sure, everything is there, but I don't know about a spiritual successor. I still think that it's a travesty that PT, or Silent Hills rather, was cancelled. It had so much potential and star power that hasn't been seen since Chrono Trigger. The best we can hope for is maybe having Guillermo del Toro and Kojima team up again for this new horror IP, but I'm sure Konami is restricting them somehow from doing that. Or maybe Konami's too busy treating the Silent Hill brand with the same love and care as Metal Gear Solid. Oh. At any rate, I really wish the best of luck to the guys making Allison Road. Looks fantastic. At least we have this until maybe Guillermo del Toro and Kojima work again, but I doubt it. Still, good luck, guys. Alright, and I guess that's it for the video today. If you enjoyed this format, please let me know in the comments down below. If you don't, tell me what I can improve on, what I can fix. I feel like these can be just as easy to make as my Let's Plays, and like I said, I know not everyone is totally crazy about my Let's Plays, but I still make them because they're easy to do and they're fun to make anyways, so hopefully you'll enjoy them. Any other content I will be making will come out on the weekends or maybe just randomly, but Let's Plays will be daily. These kinds of videos will probably be daily or maybe every other day, but we'll see. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter, Goose Senpai, right there. I tweet about stupid shit every day because I'm lonely and I'm just stupid. And Tumblr. I don't really use Tumblr that much, but I have it, so maybe you'll like it. Okay. Alright, thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. I love you all so very, very much. Alright, bye.